if you're new, Daps is coming. He's having mic issues. That's why we was late. Because he couldn't get his mic working. Also, I'm going to stand up in it because I feel like I want to stand up, mate. I don't want to sit down. I want to sit down, mate. I don't want to play the game anymore like that. I want to stand up, mate. Yeah, smash these likes up, guys. Let's get the likes up rapid. Come on, man. 400 people in the building for KDB's last ever game at the Stade d'Etihad. Or is it the last ever game? Who knows? He might have a testimonial. Yeah, what's that white thing there? Yeah, who knows? He might have a testimonial. Should have a testimonial, but will he? And if he does have a testimonial, will he be fit? Let me do these shout outs and then we'll bring Daps in as in the background. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Bryson. Dashiel. Built to Mini Mez. Hutchie. Rory Young. Makolo. Spear Dusky's in the building. Built to Adnan. Havax. Ashaz. Built Reese. Jackson's in the building. Shout out to Rajiv. Come on, bro. Come on. Built to Louise, JMC, Joe Shaw, Jerome, Leo Bates, built to Roberto, Shakti, built to you, bro, built to Suvik, Rajiv. Oh, you being hearty, bro. Why are you doing that for, bro? Come on, man. Shout out to Strudels, bro, built to Louise, Idranil's in the building. Shout out to you guys as well. Who else we got in here? Shout out to Gav. Shout out to Real Mario says PRB. Built to Kays, Steve Fryer. Mustafa's in the building. Come on, guys. Come on. Smash these likes up, man. Get these likes up if you've not done so already, innit? Get the likes up, man. Yo, Daps, your mic on.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Come on. Crisp, mate. You're sounding crisp. What's happening?
You're in a good mood.
Bro, you know what it is, yeah? It's like the season's almost over, innit? And this season's been shit, bro. So the season's almost over. I have 2 games left, and then this dead season is finished, mate. That's what I'm saying. Nah,
that's how I felt Saturday, man.
Yeah, nah, it was hanging, wasn't it? It was just hanging.
A good day, but fucking.
Yeah, no, I had a good day, man. I enjoyed myself, innit? You know what I mean?
You got to see Echeverri, innit? So.
Bro, come on, then we'll play the clip. Come on.
Replacement number 13, Mario Echeverri.
Fucking come on, lad! Echeverri! I couldn't believe it, bro. I couldn't believe it. When I was walking up to the stadium, yeah, and one of my mates, can't remember which one it was, but LB, Echeverri's on the bench. And I was like, what? And it showed me. I was like, no fucking way. And then that was it, basically. I didn't expect him to get on. I just expected him to be like on the bench. And then when I seen, so I think someone said to me, around me, said, is Echeverri coming on there? You know, like on the touchline. And then I looked at it, I thought, that might be him now, but it's quite far away. And then when the guy said it, I was like, yo, that's crazy, man. So, yeah, the chances of me picking, I've been to 2 games this season, and the one game I actually go to, Echeverri comes on, which is wild. But yeah, other than that, bro, how you doing, man? You good, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just pissed off, bro. I'm frustrated, pissed off. Yeah. Fucking nervous. Do you know what? I kind of, Saturday evening, I was saying to Steve, like, the difference last season when we had the final, yeah, we lost to Man United, right? But the season was over and we'd won the league, yeah? I said, because of the way everything's changed, the season isn't over.
Yeah.
And by Wednesday, by tomorrow evening, yeah, a realisation is that fucking we could have no Champions League football, no trophy, and them fuckers could have Champions League football and a trophy.
I know. That would be actually hanging, mate. If they get Champions League and we don't, with how shit they've been. The fact we've not even beaten them home or away this year is pretty embarrassing.
We've got a point off of them in their worst ever season.
Yeah. No, it is wild. It has been a tough year, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. Just get this Champions League qualification, and then it's about forgetting this season like they never happened, mate, and moving on to next year, man. But
it's about getting Wirtz over the line, isn't it?
Well, that doesn't look like it's happening now, innit? Yeah, apparently City have pulled out. What did you make of all that yesterday? Did you think? Do you believe that what the story that got put out, or do you think we just got rejected and City are putting out
I think,
PR?
Yeah, I think it's City PR. I don't believe that. Like, we know how much he's going to cost. Yeah, if you're buying Wirtz, right, you know how much money approximately he's going to want a week, and you know how much buying Leverkusen are going to want. I don't think anything is. don't think anything's changed from our financial point of view to make us go, oh shit, actually, do you know what? It's going to cost. What is this? Was yesterday the first time that someone at City went, oh fucking hell, this is going to cost us a bit of money.
Mm.
Maybe
Exactly.
the only thing I would say is maybe like through speaking with Reinders people, they've realised, do you know what? Actually, value for money. If we can get Reinders deal worth what, let's say 120 million, and I'm not meaning his fee, I'm meaning his fee and
All
his
in.
wage.
Yeah, all in, yeah.
All in
Yeah.
120. They could look at Wirtz and go, actually, yeah, 300 compared to 120, and maybe there's another person. But I just think if Morgan Gibbs-White is the answer, right, then I think we're stupid for letting Nottingham Forest know that we're out of Wirtz, because now Nottingham Forest will know they can hold us for ransom.
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny you say that because the news just literally broke about 10 minutes ago. Alex Crook has come out this morning. And we will get to Kerkez. We'll come on to Rodri, all that stuff later on in the show chat. Don't worry about it, man. But this is literally broke about 10 minutes ago. Manchester City are ready to step up interest in Morgan Gibbs-White, who features prominently on their wish list after walking away from a potential deal from Florian Wirtz. So they're still putting out the spin that we walked away, which I just do not believe. Man City officials believe they could prize the 25-year-old away from Forest, which obviously you'd assume that City have the pull to buy Gibbs-White. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of people was telling me that LB, this guy ain't the 10, this guy's not the 10, this is the 8, this is the 8. Well, actually, wrong. This guy will be the 10. This is the KDB replacement. Reinders is going to be effectively the Gundogan replacement from the treble year we never actually replaced. And this guy will basically be the KDB style player. Now, of course, with Reinders, if we get Reinders and Gibbs-White, the creativity workload will be spread across the two. And Reinders will be expected to chip in. However, I personally believe that the club and Pep Guardiola will probably be looking towards Morgan Gibbs-White as the sort of main guy, based off the style of play.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know about Gibbs. I've said this loads of times. I don't know about this guy, man. I've watched him a few times. I think he's a decent player. I'm not saying he's shit. I think he's a decent player. I don't know whether this guy's got the levels to go up. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I think it's a risky move, and obviously it is disappointing that we've not got Wirtz, but you just have to wait and see what he gets up to. Is he good enough? But, you know, I've seen a couple of the passes that he's put in for Wood, who's obviously, you know, big lad, you know what I mean, like Haaland, and he has got that whip on him. You know, I've seen the goal that they scored last week. It was a fantastic ball in the box from Chris Wood, but from Gibbs-White. It's just one of them. To be honest, mate, I feel like unless we got Wirtz, I feel like a lot of City fans would have been disappointed.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's fine at the same time because we're replacing, in my opinion, the greatest player that's ever played for this club. Yeah, in Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, you can't, you're not getting another De Bruyne. I think the thing is now, right, to try and be positive, is we have to let the whole transfer window cook. We have to see the whole picture, right?
Yeah, I agree.
We have to look at what win backs we get in. We have to look at if we get win backs or do we get full backs. We have to look at what the hell are you taking a picture of?
Next door's dog's just chilling and I'm just taking a picture and sending it to my girlfriend.
Oh, okay, cool. No, but it's what the bigger picture is ultimately. Look, is there any part of you that thinks we might still go back in for Wirtz? Or do you
because I think we got rejected.
Right. Same.
That the only way I can say yes to that is if I believe the current narrative that's being put out there that City walked away, and I don't believe that for 1 second because it makes literally no sense. Like you said, you're telling me that City just woke up yesterday and went, "Oh fucking hell, that's going to cost a lot of money, actually, isn't it?" Yeah. Like you not think they knew that 2 months ago, 3 months ago, a year ago? Like it's going to cost a lot of money, lads. You're buying Florian Wirtz for 100 million plus, and it's going to be on 300 grand a week plus. Of course, it's going to be a lot of money. So I don't believe that story for 1 second. I believe we got rejected, and I don't get embarrassed about the fact we got rejected. I'm not embarrassed at all. Like, bro, I've said it yesterday on the stream, bro. If you're going to go for the best players, in the world, you are ultimately going to get rejected from a few. That's just the facts. Now, the alternative is if you want to be one of these guys who just has chest and never gets rejected, well, go and sign bum players then. Yeah, because that's the only way that going to get rejected. When you go into, lower league teams, you go, oh, we'll take your best player. And the player's like, yeah, definitely. Like, that's just the way it is. You got sometimes you'll lose a few. We got Haaland.
We have to be real with ourselves as well. Like, we're currently 6th, right? This is not Manchester City that have fucking just done a treble, right? We're currently 6th, and he's got Bayern Munich, who are the Bundesliga champions, the biggest team in Germany, one of the biggest teams in Europe. He's got his mate Musiala there. His family is settled in Germany. His family want him to go to Bayern Munich. And at the moment, although we can offer him the project and all of that, they've got a lot more to offer him at the moment. They have. It's just the truth, because we're 6th at the moment. Yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Craig's saying that we walked away. I don't believe that we walked away one little bit. I think we got rejected.
No way.
And that's it. If you want to believe we walked away, believe we walked away. I don't believe we walked away, because to walk away for financial reasons tells me that the club didn't realise how much money it would be. And if that's true, the club are more fucking stupid than I thought, because that means they walked into this deal not realising how much it was going to cost. So what the fuck are they doing? You're telling me they just woke up yesterday and went, oh, it's costing a lot of money, this, isn't it? Well, we can't do that. We'll have to walk away. Absolute BS.
Well, they got Wirtz over with his family, took him on a tour of the fucking Khaldoon, by the way, who recently just had a meeting with Donald Trump and got that over the line, right? He's flown into England to have a meeting with Wirtz, and not once has anyone gone, by the way, how much is he going to cost? No one's had that conversation. No, it's bullshit. It's the most embarrassing thing for me is actually putting a PR spin on it. There's no need to do
I agree. You know what I found hilarious as well? There was another source yesterday. I can't remember who said it on. It was reported by one of the aggregators, so it was semi-reliable. That said City wanted Wirtz to hurry up. Cheeky fuckers. We might be playing Europa League next season. You're telling Wirtz to hurry up. How about qualify for Champions League so the guy knows what he's fucking getting to? You know what I mean? So, like I say, for me, my opinion is we got rejected. If you want to believe, like I say, believe whatever you want, chat. But that's my opinion.
I don't think many people do believe it, do they, though?
No, I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. Yeah, apparently Fabrizio said that. It's like, that is just hilarious. You're telling Wirtz to hurry up when we might be playing Europa League football next season is genuinely.
I did see something last night, and I didn't bother reading it. It wasn't so that apparently City aren't willing to do something that Liverpool are willing to do. Maybe that's that City aren't willing to wait, whereas Liverpool are saying, all right, we'll wait for him to make a decision, whereas City is saying, nah, we want you to make a decision. But that, I guess, like you said, with certain things, you have to wait, innit?
Yeah. 100%, bro. 100%. It is what it is. But yeah, we're not getting him, so we'll move on. Yeah, just a couple of questions, yeah. Daniel Munoz, the Palace right back. I thought he ripped us apart, mate. I can't lie. I've seen him a lot this season. I think he's a top player, you know. I think he's a real top player. Late bloomer. The right back, Daniel Munoz, we got the assist for the goal. Would you, because obviously we need a right back. Would you be interested in him or no? I think the guy's a top player, mate. I can't lie.
I haven't seen enough of him.
You're not.
He did rip us and he put in a great ball as well.
He cooked us, man. He cooked us, bro. I can't lie. Now give me Livramento. But the thing is, Livramento's going to cost
well,
this guy's going to cost like 75 million, though. So you're telling me that we're not going to spend 300 million all in on Wirtz, but we'll go and spend 75 million on a right back?
Well, this is the thing. If we end up spending what I'm seeing on Morgan Gibbs-White, I'm fucking livid. Because it makes Wirtz. But Livramento, I would absolutely love Livramento, but Newcastle would take us to the absolute fucking cleaners for that player.
Yeah.
There's no way
they would.
Take us to the cleaners. There'd be more chances of us probably getting. We'd probably get Tonali for a better fucking price than we get Livramento because he's English in it as well.
Livramento's English, yeah.
Yeah. They'd take us to the cleaners on him.
Yeah,
But what about this Kerkez news?
Yeah, so this was reported but there's been quite a lot of news on this Kerkez guy from various different sources, but it's always been Liverpool first, Liverpool first. City are interested, but Liverpool. However, this morning it sort of like stepped up pace a little bit this morning with City, which is quite interesting. MSI Douglas says, Man City have made inquiries for Bournemouth left-back Milos Kerkez and are now viewed as genuine rivals to Liverpool for the player's signature. Hugo Viana is a big fan of Kerkez, who has a price set 45 million. That's a lot of money, by the way. 45 million pounds by Bournemouth this summer. So maybe City are stepping up the sort of pursuit on Milos Kerkez. But I personally, I still think he's going to go Liverpool, mate, if I'm being completely honest with you. But maybe City are trying to get him in. I don't know.
What's happening with Robinson from Fulham?
That's an interesting one, man, because Robinson is a player that, like, a lot of people in the chat rate. And I think he's all right. I don't think he's amazing, but I think he's all right. He's homegrown as well, which, you know, if we do...
older, though, isn't he? A bit older.
Yeah, he's 27, so he's a little bit older, but you could also say about to enter his prime years, about to enter his best years as a football player. But like, no one's gone in for him. Like, I'm surprised he's still at Fulham, because if he's as good as
Liverpool, I thought Liverpool were going in for him at first. Earlier in the season, it was saying Liverpool. But
I thought he'd end up at Liverpool, Robinson, but no. Apparently, they want this Kerkez. But yeah,
and what
I don't know
as well.
I like Nori, mate. I think Ike Nori's a player, that is ripe for making the step up. And I think this guy's got potential mad levels to go, because he's 23 years old. He's played in England now, I think, for 3 years. I think this is his third year in the Premier League. He's great at going forward. He's a techie baller. You know, he can go in, he can go out, he can get goals, he can get assists. Some people in the chat reckon he's a bit sus defensively. I don't know. I've not seen enough of him to comment on his defensive side of his game. But I'm looking for a threat, mate. I'm looking for a genuine... Because, you know, we have to change how we play. We can't keep playing the way we're playing. You know what I mean? I was watching Big Steve's reaction video. I watched it yesterday. His match reaction. And we're all saying the same thing. Every City fan is saying the same thing. It's sideways football. We've got no penetration. We don't know how to break the lines. We've got no width from our fullbacks, and our wingers are not giving us enough to compensate from that lack of fullback option. And our guys in the midfield are not getting us enough goals, are not getting us enough assists, and not creating enough. We're all saying the same thing. And for me, I've really sort of changed my view. Or not changed my view, but shifted my area of importance for the rebuild. Previously, it was midfield. And I still think the midfield needs to be sorted out, because I think it's shit, if I'm being honest with you. But I'm moving the fullback stats priority list from second or third to the top, because we have no fullbacks at the club, first of all, which I think personally is a disgrace. Yeah,
absolute disgrace.
I genuinely think it's a disgrace that an elite level football club has 0 fullbacks at the football club. Yeah, that's a disgrace in my opinion.
Zero, not even one. Zero.
Not one. Yeah, not one fullback at the football club. And I think that our wingers are suffering. Our wingers, in my opinion, are suffering because they have no support from fullback options. No support whatsoever. When Doku gets the ball, he's either got to turn around and pass it backwards, or he's got to take 2 players on. When Savio got the ball at the weekend, he's got to take 2 players on, or he's got to pass the ball backwards. If we can give them some support in the fullback area with overlapping fullbacks, it will help them out loads. Enrico's not a fullback. He's never been a fullback until about 2 years ago. He's actually a midfielder. He's always been a midfielder in the academy. But I think fullbacks, mate, we have to. I said it. I tweeted it out the other day. I think for me now, the fullback position is crucial. For me, it's one of our most important things that we sort out this summer.
Do you know what, right? If you look at City over the last 3 or 4 years, we have for a while played sideways football, right? What I'm going to refer to it as is patient football, right? Because you can afford to be patient when you have prime Kevin De Bruyne, right? Who at any point can unlock a defence, You be patient because if you've got a locksmith, you know, sooner or later that lock is going to get picked, right? So when you've got KDB, you can be patient. And I mean prime KDB. When you've got David Silva, you can be patient. When you've got Riyad Mahrez even, that, you know, can just fucking cut in and put it top bins whenever he wants, right? Even when if you want to talk Cancelo, even if you've got Cancelo, who actually can fucking play through a ball with the outside of his foot at any point, even when you've got Kyle Walker, right? And no matter what people say about Kyle Walker's runs forward used to scramble defences, yeah? He maybe always didn't put in a great ball, but even him making an overlap on the outside of Mahrez or on the inside of Mahrez gave Mahrez that extra space to then fucking, right? Whereas at the moment, there's not, and someone we were talking about today, and I said, I don't know, maybe I'd go with Marmoush on the left, Doku on the right, and then have Nunes overlapping Doku, right? But Martin was saying we're not going to change anything because fucking until we get the right players in. But I was like, but that's been the same all season. We can't. And I said to Martin, do we think City will play the same next season? And he said, yeah, I think we will. We'll just get players in. And I said, but
I don't. I think we'll play different.
I don't think, and I wasn't. This wasn't a dig at the board, right? This was just a question I said was, what if the players that worked perfectly with that Manchester City just are not available anymore, right?
Yeah.
Because we are talking about fucking Riyad Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva. These are not players that you can just fucking pick up from anywhere, yeah? If we don't get players that know how to play this Pep system perfectly, it might not work. We might have to change. And even if we look at this season, right, and I'm talking minus Palace and minus Southampton, if we go back to that little run we had where we're getting results, predominantly it was coming down the wings, wasn't it? It was coming from our fullbacks that aren't actually fullbacks.
And this whole thing about, Pep never plays with fullbacks. That is, I don't know. Have you guys only just started watching football in the last 2 years? Did you not watch him at Barcelona? Did you not watch him at Bayern? He had fullbacks at Bayern. Yeah, like obviously sometimes Kimmich inverted, but he still had fullbacks. Did you not watch him when we had Mendy and Walker?
Kyle Walker's a fullback.
Like, I don't know why there's so many people out there who just believe that he just doesn't want or doesn't like fullbacks. He's had loads of fullbacks in his career. The difference is he's found a system and he's found a solution over the last couple of years where he didn't need fullbacks. He didn't need them. That doesn't mean he doesn't like them. He just didn't need them because the system worked and we didn't need them, right? But I think now the time has come for a change in the way that he sets up the team. And I think that Pep is going to change it going into next season. I think he'll change it. I think we'll buy some fullbacks. I think the worst news that I saw recently was that Jack Gordon said City are only in the market for one fullback, which I think will be absolutely horrendous. But if we get two fullbacks in,
Can be at least quite actually, isn't it?
Yeah, but that it might have just gone quiet because it's a done deal.
Yeah, true.
If it's a done deal, then like no one's speaking about it. None of the agents are speaking about it because it's a done deal. Like I don't know. It's either that or it's completely dead. Like, you know what I mean?
I couldn't see how it could become dead unless City again have decided and even then it didn't seem that expensive. The Cambiasso deal seems quite doable.
Yeah, I think it's like 55 mil or something like that.
Yeah.
But we need to sort this squad out, man, because the squad fall off is crazy. Get me a couple fullbacks in, get me. But the Reinders thing, I think Reinders is a top player. I think Reinders is a player that this is a signing that we were making 4 years ago, mate. You know, and I think everyone agrees that the last 2 years of transfer window has been poor.
Yeah.
But Reinders for me is a player that can come in and I think he'll hit the ground running. You know, I think he's 25 or 26. Someone in the chat let me know how old he is. He's about 26, something like that. So he's like not mad young. He's not a project player. And I think he can come in and help. And Gibbs-White, as much as some people don't like him, some people rate him, whatever, at least he's Prem proven. You know what I mean? People say, well, Nunes was Prem proven. But I think Gibbs-White's a better player than Nunes. You know, he's a better player than Nunes, in my opinion. So we'll have to see, man. Then you look at the Wesleys of this world. We're being linked with this Wesley guy, the Brazilian right back, who's apparently coming in. There was a little bit of news on him actually before. Apparently City are looking at him. He's 21 years old.
Is that looking at a long-term replacement, or is that another City long-termer, or is that one for next season?
I think it's for now, mate. Bro, look at the fee that look at this. Look at the fee that City are looking at paying 40 to 45 million euros.
Yeah, that's a now then.
That has to be a now. You don't spend that much. I mean, I know people say, well, Reyes and Huzanov, but they were 30. Yeah. And I think Reyes was like 28. This is 40 to 45 million. You don't spend 40 to 45 million to sit on the bench or to loan him out to Girona.
To loan him out, definitely. You wouldn't be doing that to loan him out. Definitely not.
No. So, yeah, I think this is another one that will get done. So, maybe the Cambiasso deal is dead then, because if we're getting this guy and we're targeting Nori, we're targeting Kerkez, maybe the Cambiasso thing is dead. I don't know. Maybe City have moved on from Cambiasso, which I think is interesting because we was going to sign him in January, and then 5 months later, 6 months later, all of a sudden you're saying no.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, man. It's weird. It's weird. The Cambiasso deal defo seems a little bit strange, man. But anyway, guys, smash these likes up if you've not done so already. Let's get the likes up, man. Over 1,100 people locked in. We're not even at 250 likes, guys. We need 7 people. Smash these likes up if you've not done so already. Shout out to Ranveer. Says, once the 90 minutes are up tonight, the emotions will kick in. Already cried thinking about it. I'm not ready. Will you guys shed a tear tonight? KDB, says Ranveer. Yeah, it's KDB's last game, man, at the Etihad Stadium. Hopefully, we can win the game because it's really important that we win the game. To secure that Champions League so we can play Champions League football next year. But yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Not just on KDB. Like, we have to remember there's a good chance it's Ederson's last game tonight as well,
Yeah, Ederson, John Stones, maybe.
Grealish.
Yeah, there's a lot of players, man. This will be the last game at the Etihad.
I don't think Stones will go, but
no, I don't think so.
It will be interesting to look at some players' body language, but I think Ederson's one that we need to make sure tonight he does get a send off as well, because Ederson,
I mean, best City goalkeeper of all time.
Yeah, easy.
Some people disagree. Some people say it's Joe Hart.
No. So. Joe Hart was a fucking cult hero in that, but there's no coincidence. First season without Ederson. So the season without Ederson, we didn't win fuck all. Eddie Bernardo, Kyle Walker arrived, and City won the league. He's everything. I mean, would we have won the game on Saturday if we had Ederson in goal? I think Ederson. We wouldn't have a Champions League without Ederson. That's the truth. That season, Ederson, some of the saves he made in that Champions League, quality, man.
Yeah, here's a question for you. Oh, by the way, shout out Harsh as well for the membership earlier. Sorry, bro, I didn't see it. Big up to you, bro. Appreciate the membership. Here's a question for you, right, on the goalkeeper thing, right? We'll come back to the KDB thing in a minute, chat, yeah. But just because Daps mentioned the goalkeeper, I want to ask him a question. I've been having a bit of a debate on the channel recently with the panel members, people in the chat, right, about where we go after Ederson, because watching the Champions League, and I've not decided one way or the other, but it's got me thinking, mate, because I've always said we're better off with Ederson. Right? However, when I watched Donnarumma for PSG, when I watched Sommer for Inter Milan, when I watched Courtois for Real Madrid, part of me starts to think, should we just go and get like a shot stopper, or should we stick with the ball playing goalkeeper? And I've not said which way I'm going, because to be honest with you, I still probably think we're better off with an Ederson style goalkeeper. But I've never ever even doubted this. But now I'm starting to doubt it and think maybe we should go in a different direction with our goalkeeper.
When Ederson at the moment, because we don't know what style we're going to go with as far as Pep, right? That we've never doubted Pep until this season. So you'd always go, yeah, we won't doubt. Why would we doubt the style of play? Because a goalkeeper who's comfortable with the ball at his feet is everything to a Pep Guardiola system. If we're starting to doubt Pep, which we are you doubting Pep on some things, by the way?
Doubting him? What do you mean by doubt? Do you mean like...
Well, do you know what? Doubting him's the wrong word. We're questioning Pep on things that maybe...
Oh, I think this year, Pep's got so much stuff from it. It's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Bro, and I said this yesterday. This season is on Pep more than any other player. Right? More than any other player. This season is on Pep, and he's had his reasons. And I'm not Pep out before anyone asks. Not remotely, not even close to. But this season is on Pep. Like, so many things he's got wrong. Even down to the management of the players, I think, a little bit, Would you have brought Grealish on Saturday?
The problem with that question, mate, is that we don't know what's gone on between Grealish and Pep Guardiola. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that something's gone on, right? You don't have a £100 million player on 300 grand a week who never plays.
So when did it go wrong?
Well, we could have a look.
I have an idea, but
I can tell you when because we've got data. The data is the minutes. The minutes will tell us when it went wrong.
No. But what I mean by when it went wrong, when did it break down? Officially, that's it. Broken. Can't.
Well, I think you look at the dates, right? All right, he's not starting many games, right? But he started there, he started there, he started there, he started there, off the bench, 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 started, off the bench, started, and then on the bench, 6 minutes on the bench, 27 minutes on the bench, injured on the bench, 1 minute on the bench, 90 minutes, 60 minutes, 3 minutes on the bench, on the bench. So I'd say, when did it go wrong? This area. Something went wrong probably around then. Christmas time.
But then the mad thing is, in that period, and this is a frustrating. So, Jack, someone I know spoke with Jack a couple of days ago, and Jack said he's had it up to here, like he's livid, fucking pissed off.
Of course he will, because he's not playing.
But right, if you scroll down a bit, you look at that. Okay, I know it was Leicester, but you just look at the games that he has played in, right, at some points this season, and he's still put in a good shift for us, yeah. And this whole Doku Savio Haaland thing drives me crazy, right? And the fact that the weekend against Palace, where we've actually seen Doku start to look quite good recently, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's taking players on. He's looking exciting.
Even down to some of his passes have looked better. He's picked players out a couple, maybe only a couple of times, right? But then we bring Haaland back in, and it's alongside Doku and Savio, and again, it's not working.
It's not working. Yeah,
it just really doesn't work. And do you think Akanji played at the weekend because he wanted to get Haaland in the team, or do you think Haaland played because he wanted to get Akanji in the team?
I don't think the two are linked. I think he played Akanji because he doesn't trust Núñez to not do some bozo error.
You don't think it's because he wanted to play with two wingers for whatever reason?
I think you can play with two wingers and still play Núñez, in my opinion. But then, I think that's fine. I think you can probably still do that.
Your opinion's different to Pep's opinion.
I know it is. But
Pep's opinion is that, if we're ultimately gonna try and get Marmoush, Doku, Haaland, and Savio on the pitch, then it's quite attacking. Therefore, I don't want to play Núñez. I'm going to play Akanji.
I think that's probably what he thought.
Yeah.
But I don't think that.
I don't think that either.
No, I don't think that. But I think that, you're probably right. That's probably what he was thinking. But I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, massively. I think it's mad. I was speaking to some lads outside the ground afterwards, and they said, we miss Núñez. And I said, do you know what? I said, there's some truth in what you said, because playing Akanji there, like, with Núñez drives forward. Núñez drives into the middle of the park, right? We didn't have any of that at the weekend. We just had Akanji who was playing sideward passes and trying to overlap, but he has no fucking clue how to overlap whatsoever. I think Akanji, for me, was the biggest fucking
I think
mistake.
Akanji's a massive net negative on the side at the moment. For me, I think that
more so if you're not going to play with as many midfielders, to then also drop Núñez and play Akanji, who offers fuck all in the middle of the park anyway. It's like I think Núñez there. Núñez would be coming into the middle and at least being able to do something.
I agree. I think that. Yeah, I think that's why I would have just played Núñez. I think Núñez deserved to play. I think he deserved to play on form. You know what I mean? He's been one of our better players over the last month, Núñez. And I think so he deserved to play. I think it's crazy as well because the game against Southampton, I think we were crying out for Núñez in that game on that right-hand side to overlap and put some crosses in. And you know what, right? Something that we spoke about quite a lot recently is like Haaland's not created a lot of chances. He had one chance created for him at the weekend against Palace, Kevin De Bruyne in the first couple of minutes, and then he had nothing created for him against Southampton. We know that Doku doesn't work with Haaland. We've discussed that to death. Everybody knows that. And if you don't agree with that, then just look at the numbers. One player in this team that can actually put in a decent cross is Núñez.
Yeah.
He's quite high up on our stats in terms of assists for the whole squad. So, you know, if we're talking about how can we get more out of Haaland, how can we get Haaland more goals and get more chance creation from Haaland? Núñez is one of the guys in the current squad that can do that. So again, you know, you remember the games earlier on in the season, I think it was maybe September, October time.
Getting a few assists.
When he was playing left wing. He was brilliant, Núñez, left wing. Absolutely brilliant. He put in a couple of great crosses for Haaland, and he's got a great delivery into the box. So again, I think that was a major mistake. But
even remember, we were speaking on this earlier on South Stand, right? Remember when Savio and Doku switched themselves?
Chelsea.
And Savio was cooking on the left, like Doku on.
First game of the season.
I don't get why he hasn't tried that more. Like, and everyone tells me, I'm pretty certain you probably watched him at Girona, that Savio off the left is more creative than Savio off the right.
I don't think I ever saw Savio play on the right-hand side at Girona. Every time I watched him, he was on the left. And he's definitely, based off this season, definitely been better on the left, Savio. 100 million%. Now, what people will say is, yeah, but LB, so's Doku. Okay, I probably agree with you, but here's the thing. If you're going to play both of them, you need to work out how can you get the best for the team. And for me, Savio is a lot worse on the right than he's on the left. Then Doku is on the right than Doku is on the left. So for me, if I was to play them, I would play Savio on the left and Doku on the right. Yes, Doku's not as good on the right as the other on the left, but I just think that would be a better attack, in my opinion. And Savio can put in a decent cross on his left foot on the left-hand side. And it would also allow, Doku to put in crosses on his strong foot. And maybe that would help him connect with Haaland, because at the moment, Doku does not connect with Haaland on the left-hand side. So you put him on the right-hand side. You're then looking at Doku and say, well, you've got no excuses now to put better crosses in because you're on your strong foot. This is another reason why I have to defend Doku so many times, is because he's crossing the ball in on his weak foot. If you put him on the right side and he crosses it in with his right foot and he's still not getting that ball to a City player, then at that point you go, he just can't connect, and he just can't get the ball to a City player. But at the moment, you got to kind of defend him sometimes and say, well, he's crossing the ball in on his left foot with one player in the box. So for me, again, I would personally, I'd like a new winger, if I'm being honest, because I don't think our wingers are very good. But if we don't sign a new winger, I'd personally like us to throw Savio on the left, Doku on the right, irrespective of what happened with Bob, obviously, because we don't know what's going on with Bob. Is he even going to be fit? Like, what the hell's going on with him? But yeah, that's probably what I'd look at doing. That then leaves you a question with what you do with Marmoush. Well, if you are getting a left back who can attack, I'd probably play Marmoush off the left, push Marmoush infield, and that would give you Marmoush, Reinders, Gibbs-White as your central players, and then you push your Kerkez or your Aït-Nouri as your left winger who can actually cross a ball. And then you've kind of got like a front. You've got an attack then. Let's go with Aït-Nouri. That's probably more realistic at this point in time. Aït-Nouri over on the left. Marmoush comes in. Reinders maybe a little bit deeper, dictating the play, little long balls. Rodri next to him. Morgan Gibbs-White further forward off the right-hand side. And then you decide what you're going to do on the right wing. Is it Foden? Is it Savio? Is it Doku? Is it Bob? We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But I think for me, that's how I'm seeing the team. And then maybe behind, you'll then have a back three of Gvardiol, Diaz. And I'd personally like to maybe see someone like a Huzanov maybe in there or something like that. What do you think of that?
I'm hoping that Kuzanov is part of a kind of ultimately, a three at the back, right-sided centre back. That's what I'm hoping we are doing with Kuzanov at the moment, massively.
I potentially run Huzanov. I want to run Huzanov and Gvardiol at the Club World Cup, mate, and see what them two are like, because we've got a partnership at the moment with Gvardiol and Diaz, and I think it's working all right, but it is vulnerable because it's slow as shit. I think try out Gvardiol and Huzanov at the Club World Cup, because I think Huzanov's pace might outweigh Diaz's leadership, which I think is overstated anyway. And try it out. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No one's going to be that arsed if we don't win the Club World Cup. Like, I want to win it, don't get me wrong. I want to win the trophy, and obviously for the club it's great because you get 120 million quid. But I'd run it, man. I'd run Huzanov and Gavardio. I think that can be a really, really strong partnership, mate.
Just thinking, Palace's goal.
Yeah.
Could I was smashed on Saturday, so I'm trying to remember it. But could Kuzanov, would Kuzanov have got across there and potentially prevented Eze?
I think so. I think, let me have a look at it. I think it's not even necessarily a pace thing. Let me have a look. I'm watching the replay now. Here we go. So the ball's in the middle of the gaff. Right. It goes long. Mateta holds off Gavardio. The ball's played down to Mateta. O'Reilly's a bit late tracking Munoz, but it probably doesn't make... Maybe he could have done it. Maybe O'Reilly could have been a little bit more aware. He might have been able to stop the crosses if a little bit more aware. But then for me, mate, I think Akanji...
Where he gone? Where's he gone?
I'll pull up the clip, yeah?
Yeah.
I can't show the video, obviously, because I get a copyrighted chat, yeah? But I can show you this still image. Right, so you're looking at the back post here, yeah? The cross has just come in. The ball's in the middle there. Akanji's got 2 yards on us here. 2 yards.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that's an Akanji issue.
Yeah.
Now, we can go in and say, well, O'Reilly might have been able to do a bit better. O'Reilly might have been able to stop the cross. But I'm looking at this, mate, and I'm thinking, I think Akanji should have done better. He's got 2 yards on Eze, and he's not stopped the cross. So I think for me, it's probably a right-back issue, that. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm not having Akanji, me, anyway.
Would you keep him as a squad rotator, though?
I mean, it depends on everyone else. I mean, if I'm being honest, I'd rather keep John Stones than Akanji.
Yeah, I definitely keep Akanji as much as I think he's.
No, I'd rather keep Stones than Akanji, bro.
I know, but Stones is never fit, bro.
Yeah, but right, I would hope going into next season, right, it looks like we're getting fullbacks, right?
Yeah.
So if we're getting fullbacks, then we're ultimately just... What are all the W's for?
We had quite a big donation here from HSK, man. He's dropped $100 donation. He says, cheer up. He says, cheer up, Blues. We will turn things around. You know what it is, bro, for me? Big up for $100 donation, man. That's crazy. Big up to you, mate. You know what it is for me, bro, yeah? Is that I trust Karl at this football club, yeah? And I trust Sheikh Mansour. However, I don't trust Viana yet because it's his first summer. And I think that's very fair. So for me, I trust, and maybe I should go, well, if Karl trusts him, then maybe I should trust him. But like, the reason I trust Karl and the reason I trust Sheikh Mansour, mate, is because they've been here, nearly 20 years, or maybe 20 years, and they've not really given me much reason to doubt them. So I trust them. Yeah, that's how trust is. That's how you get trust in it with people. You don't just meet someone and trust him. Yeah, I meet these people. Yeah, if I get a little bit of information, yeah, I could tell Daps and say, don't tell anyone, because I trust him because I've known him, for now 2 years. I know the guy, met him. Some of your mates, you trust them. Yeah, I trust Karl and Sheikh Mansour at this club, because they've been here for time. But like some of the newer guys, I don't fully trust them yet because they're here. Now, hopefully, Viana can come in this summer and smash it. And then I go, yes, I trust this guy. But it's an uncertain summer, man. It is an uncertain summer.
Even with the Wirtz thing now, we're probably looking at thinking, well, is any of that on Viana? Is who is leading that? Was Tiki leading that? Who's leading that? And also, we know that Viana and Pep haven't got the relationship that Tiki and Viana had yet. Like that's gonna take a while to build up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, but for me now, I'd with the fact that we've got Vardio, we've got Diaz, we've got Kuzanov, and we've got Vitor Hayes, right? We probably both would agree that what's his name gets another loan out, right?
I think Hayes gets loaned out, yeah.
Now, do you think Hayes gets loaned out? What about Jemba Bar?
I'd loan him out as well.
Yeah. Don't know.
I loan both of them out, and I say to both of them, John Stones is leaving next summer. Whoever plays the best this season and shows me you've got it will replace John Stones.
Well, in that case, if we're loaning out both of them again, then I would probably keep Kanji over. I'd probably keep Kanji.
You have to keep him on, otherwise you wouldn't have enough numbers. Yeah. And then you go into the season, Daps, with Gavardio, Diaz, Huzanov, Ake, Stones, Akanji. That's
6.
more than enough.
Yeah, it
6.
has to be. 6
That's
is
more
enough.
than enough. And then you buy 2 fullbacks, your defence is fixed. Chilling. And then next year, John Stones leaves, you bring in Juma Barrow Rice.
Yeah.
The year later, Ake leaves, you bring in the other guy. Or you buy one if they're not that good, you know? That's what. Listen, I want to come onto Rodri, yeah, if we can. Shout out to him as well for the big donation, bro. I do appreciate it, man. Big up to you. Rodri, there's been some stories, lads, some news breaking that Rodri tonight potentially might feature. Let me bring it up on screen so you guys can see it. Shout out you guys in the chat. Make sure you're smashing up the likes. I've never seen this source before, but City Extra have quoted it. Rodri is in line for a return to Manchester City's match day squad versus Bournemouth tonight. I mean, these 2 games, we need 4 points out of the next 2 games for Champions League football. So he's been in training now. I believe he's been in training now for 5 weeks. First team training, not solo training, first team training. When Manchester City first put it on Twitter that he's been in first team training, I got told, that he'd been in training 2 weeks prior to that. But they were keeping it on the DL because they didn't want the pressure ramping on Rodri to like, get him back in the team, get him back in the team. So
was he not in the match? So he travelled on Saturday. Was he in the squad on Saturday?
He wasn't in the squad, no.
Right,
he wasn't in the squad.
Cool. Okay.
He might be on the bench tonight.
I think. Have you heard anything on Kovacic?
He's injured apparently. Pep Guardiola said last night he's injured. He has an injury. I actually watched the full press conference last night before I went to bed, and he said, yeah, he's got an injury, so he's probably not fit for tonight.
We missed it. We've missed him, man. We missed him again.
We probably have, yeah. We probably did miss him.
For me though, again against Palace and again tonight, Nico Gonzalez.
Well,
do you know what? I think we're missing him not just as a holder, but I actually think Nico Gonzalez forward passing's been quite good since we've had him. Right, I've seen him make a few.
I agree.
Passes, and I think we're missing him. It's not just the fact, we need a holding midfielder. I actually think he advances the ball well, and that's.
I agree. I noticed that straight away because one of the things that's like really, really wound me up this year, like people who watch me on the watch-alongs will know this is like facts, is the players passing sideways and backwards.
Yeah,
I'm desperate for these players to play the ball forward. And Nico Gonzalez gets the ball and passes it forward, which is why I've been kind of stunned that he's not been in the team because I like him. And I've always said to the chat, my opinion, is that I don't think he's ever going to be like this world-class player or whatever. But I think he's definitely a good player to have in the team. And I'm not sure. I've had this conversation so many times with different people, different City fans. People at the game on Saturday, I chatted to a couple of Blues and they were saying, LB, why do you think Nico's not getting in the team? I said, I fucking don't know, mate.
I'm just trying to find something now, right? There was a clip that someone sent me of a Gonzalez pass, right? And it was fucking it was almost... Right, I'm not getting carried away. It was almost David Silva-like a little chip ball over the top when it was beautiful, unlocked a whole defence with one pass, right? And I think that's something that at the moment, I think we're missing so much. We haven't really got too many... I mean, when Rodri comes back, I think we'll have one, but we're missing at the moment intelligent passers.
Yeah, we are. And passers that can get the ball to the forward line quickly. I watched when City on Twitter put out like goals that we scored like last year and the year before and the year before that, like when we play a team. I've been watching them from like last year and the year before, and the speed at which we moved the ball last season and the year before is night and day to what we do now.
Insane.
And you know what? A player that was involved in pretty much all those clips is Foden. Foden is constantly in those clips of receiving the ball quickly, turning, release, or getting a shot off.
Do you know what? That's something that actually I remember Steve saying to me probably a good 3-4 months ago, maybe even longer, saying that Foden is really missing Rodri because Rodri knew how to get the ball to Foden quickly when he still had space. That's one thing that people have been telling me, that Morgan Gibbs-White would be very good at doing that. He's very good at advancing the ball quickly.
But hang on a minute though, because I thought Gibbs-White is going to be further up the pitch. No, where do we are we saying that Gibbs-White's going to be playing quite deep then?
I don't. Who knows? Who knows? Who fucking knows? I mean, what someone said to me is that they think Pep will fucking drop wingers and play with fullbacks that bomb forward.
Like a 5 at the back.
Yeah,
maybe.
And then if you were to do that, then you could then sit with Rodri, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Reinders, Haaland, Marmoush, Haaland, Foden. You don't have to have the wingers. And I'll be honest, with the wingers we have at the moment, I hear it. If we were to go out and get a Rodrigo or something, maybe, but with the wingers we've got at the moment, I'd probably think, okay, give it a go.
Yeah.
But we saw that even on Saturday when Echeverri came on, that we weren't getting the ball to him quick enough.
No, I know, but I thought Echeverri had a good little cameo there, mate. People in my chat have been saying she'll be starting tonight, and I've been saying, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Right, here's a question for you. Two questions.
I can't afford to get beat tonight, man. We have to minimum get a draw, otherwise we're fucked. But ideally you want to be winning, so you can just go Fulham and get a draw last game of the season, man. But if we lose, tonight,
we can't. A draw tonight for me.
Not looking good, is it?
Fulham away.
Fulham's
not.
tough.
I've been saying about Fulham away for fucking months, right?
Yeah, Fulham's tough, man.
And it's a hard one now. I'm sorry, but it's so frustrating because we were onto something with this team that Pep wasn't changing too much, right?
Yeah.
Up until 2 games ago, we were onto something. I'm not saying we were playing great football. We were getting the job done. And then Pep, but rightly or wrongly, felt we needed to get Haaland in the team. And things have changed. Now, here's a question. Would you drop Haaland tonight?
Oh,
bro, and just to throw this in there, just to make it that little bit more complicated. Reminder: the transfer window opens in a week's time. Well, the season ends in a week's time. Yeah. Do we want Erling Haaland to end the season frustrated, pissed off that he's been dropped?
For me, the question on Haaland is not about Haaland. The question for me on Haaland is, can we put out a team tonight that can create volume of chances for Haaland? And that's minimum 3 good chances. If the answer is no, drop Haaland. If the answer is yeah, if you can play a team and think, I reckon that can create Haaland 3 good opportunities or more, you play him. If you look at it and go, I don't think them players are good enough to create him chances in like a low block scenario or given the ball, then you got to drop him. Me personally, part of me is like, yeah, go back to what was working like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and that was Haaland wasn't on the team. But then, I just think it's mad that we're in a situation where we've got this guy on 500 grand a week and we're talking about potentially dropping him. I think that says more about the other players than it does Haaland, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I agree with you, by the way. I hate, and again, I just said his name, but Grealish looks up. Grealish looks for Haaland. Doku does.
Well, we know, right? In terms of connections, we know that Grealish and Haaland work quite well together, right? But the problem is, Grealish is almost just like he's just a vacant player. He's not really a Pep Guardiola player anymore. He never plays. So, Grealish isn't going to play, is he? But I don't know, man.
So Kovacic is out. Rodri, I don't think will start. So are we saying we're going to see a Gundogan Bernardo Silva pivot tonight?
Gundogan Bernardo Silva. Fuck me.
Or Gonzalez, or will all of a sudden... This is the thing now with Pep that we don't know. Gonzalez might start. We've all been saying, he's not starting him. Knowing Pep, we'll see a fucking Gonzalez and Grealish fucking midfield tonight.
Yeah, bro, I don't...
Gonzalez, Grealish, fucking Echeverri.
Gonzalez, Grealish, Echeverri. Yeah, that would be wild, wouldn't it?
Haaland gets bare chances, scores 4 goals.
I don't know, man, because, like, for me, the players, bro, it should be, There's a clip, right? Who was that woman who used to manage Chelsea? She went to America.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Chat, what's that woman's name, yeah? Who used to win with the Chelsea women?
She was mint, won everything.
She won everything. She was like the best female manager of all time or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emma Hayes, right?
Yeah, that's it.
There's a clip of Emma Hayes, yeah? And I remember this clip. I've only literally just remembered it, right? And she sat in this room with all the Chelsea, I guess the Chelsea players, right? She sat in this room, right, with all these Chelsea players, right? And she said something like, let me see if I can find a clip. I don't want to fucking butcher this. Emma Hayes, like, fine player or you'll be sold. Let me see if I can find a clip, man. Yeah, I think this might be it. One sec. Why I can't? I got audio on here. One sec. I'm just watching it. I just want to make sure this is.
Smash the likes, people. How many likes are there on, LB? You have a look.
Right, listen. Yeah, this, yeah. Shout out Emma Hayes, yeah. Right, listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this, yeah.
Deja vu from last year. This is a business. Is the consequence that clear in your mind? If it isn't, you need to become clear. This is fucking Chelsea. We demand a lot from this environment. We will give you everything. You put it in. I have to say to you, get better or I'll get someone else in. Wake up.
See that there? Get better or I'll get someone else in.
Do you
For
know,
me, that should be what we're saying to people who can't fucking kick the ball to Haaland, the wingers, the midfielders, is we should be saying to these players, Haaland is the best goal scorer in world football. If you can't find him with a pass or with a cross, you'll be done and we'll get someone else in. Simple.
Bro, the thing is, do you know who said literally everything she just said, yeah? Oh, you're still playing it?
Oh, yeah, sorry, bro. I didn't realise you could hear that.
But but Vinny said that. Vinny was on 5 with Rio Ferdinand about 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? And he said exactly the same thing, that when you come to Manchester City, you are given everything you could ever want in life, on and off the pitch, right? And all they ask of you is that you perform at the level they expect you to, right?
Yeah.
If you don't, no hard feelings, but you're gone and they will find someone that will, right?
Yeah.
And that is this season, when you look at it, you're spot on with that. And with Erling Haaland, because the proof has been in the pudding. Even this season, and I've used this when Geordie Dredd, at the point when he was really trying to do this Isaac Haaland conversation, and I was saying, so why hasn't Isaac done it at any other club with, like, every season? Why does Haaland get more goals than Isaac? And he said, well, it's because of the players that Haaland's playing with. I said, but then you can't use that this season because Haaland was still been scoring goals with players that aren't creating too much for him. But he always has scored goals if people creating goals. This season, it's so simple. And by the way, Savio has to hold it as well. Savio and Doku, and the midfield behind him, the uncles, they have not created enough for Haaland, including De Bruyne.
No one has consistently created for Haaland this season. You know what I mean? And that's what I think we need to do. I think you need to build the team around Haaland. I've said this for ages, not just recent. I've said this for months. I think going into this rebuild, all the players that we're buying, I think, we have to be able to create chances for him. Otherwise, he is a wasted player. And that doesn't mean he's a shit player. What he is, Haaland, is an old school centre forward.
Yeah.
And the older guys in there, I remember it a little bit, from back in the day, right? And like people older than me will know what I'm talking about. Maybe some of the younger guys won't fully get it because strikers nowadays are completely different to what they were back in the day. Yeah, they were back in the day, it was about getting the ball, putting it in the back of the net. Whereas now, the centre forward has to drop in, link up the play, spread it out wide, little balls over the top. I never really saw that like growing up as a kid. And the older guys out here know that like back in the day, the striker's job was simply to put the ball back in the net. That's fine, but you have to adapt how you play football when you have someone like that in, because ultimately you don't have that extra man dropping into midfield. So you need all players in the squad to be able to create chances. And it's no surprise to me that the treble year, especially the first 6 months, you had Cancelo at left back who could create chance after chance after chance for Haaland. Now we've got Nico O'Reilly. We had Gundogan, Rodri, a prime Kevin De Bruyne in midfield. Now we've got a finished Gundogan, Kovacic, and Bernardo Silva. None of those players are creating chances for him. Back then, we had Grealish on the left. Grealish that year and the year after was decent because he's got a good connection with Haaland as much as he'll go at the end of the year and has been shocking this year in terms of minutes availability. And on the right, you had Mahrez. So we've gone from a team, and it's very simple. It's very simple to see why we now struggle to create, because the players in the current team are unable to find Haaland. And for me, the solution is simple. If you can't find him, you're gone, or you're demoted to squad rotation, because we have to move on.
Another thing is, if we look at Marmoush, right, and we've gone and we've brought Marmoush in.
Yeah.
The other thing is, and I think we've seen signs of it. I'm pretty certain against. I think it was against Newcastle, and someone might have mentioned maybe there was one other team as well, but where Haaland started dropping a little bit deeper. Right, which was bringing the defenders higher up, and then Marmoush was managing. I'm pretty certain Newcastle. That's how it happened against Newcastle. That if we want to get the most out of Marmoush as well, we maybe do need to start asking Haaland a little bit to drop deeper, right? And because when Haaland drops deep, he's bringing a couple of defenders into the middle of the park. He's opening all that space up for either one, him to turn a defender and run in, or two, for space for Marmoush to run into. I think ultimately, either way, with what things need to change, whether it be the system that Pep's playing or whether it be the players in the system, something needs to change drastically, because this season has been. Even if we get it over the line, LB. We're still looking at the last, 10 weeks and going, yeah, but that wasn't good enough.
Nah. Facts. Don't give a shit, me, if we would have finished second. Yeah. The fact is, this season we have been ass. Now, if you want to talk about, we're still top 4. We still got to an FA Cup final, so it can't be that bad. You're screwed next year. The only way we get back to the top of the Premier League and back to the top and competing for Champions League is if we're honest about this season and honest about some of these players. And maybe Pep needs to be honest with himself about some of the decisions.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got to be honest with ourselves. And I think the club upstairs are honest. And I think you're honest, because they spent 175 million in January, which you don't do unless you're in a shit situation. And they're going to go and spend another 250, 300, maybe 350 this summer. You don't do that if you're not honest with yourselves. Otherwise, you just be glazing. So listen, I think this summer, go out there, get 5-6 players, top quality players, not rotational players, quality players that can come in this side, improve us. Let's change the way we play. Let's get a couple fullbacks in, and improve the quality of the squad. And then see what happens, man. But listen, we'll do these super chats and we'll wrap up. Daps is going live as well on the other channel, South Stand, so we'll redirect you over there. Shout out to Vish. It says, LB, Man City YouTube page just posted a shot of Foden receiving the ball on his back heel. And he was just, bro, I'll show it, but City copyright everything that I show on YouTube, which is a bit annoying. But we'll check it out, man. But it's crazy. We need Foden back to his best, man.
Yeah, we
really do. Because if Foden at his best, he's one of the best players in the world. Last year was a player of the league. This year's been a million miles away from where we need. Let's just hope and pray that whatever's going on can be resolved and that he can get back to it next season, man. Because I'm telling you as well, about this rebuild shit, I've said this for time, and this isn't new information. Everyone will know this is true, but I'll say it again because it's a bit of positivity to end the show on. If we can get Rodri and Foden back to playing their best.
Yeah, facts. Big facts.
Bro, we are a title contending team on its own without any signings. Adding the signings, and we're good to go, man.
Facts, bro. That is real talk, If we can get Foden back to where he was, and you can't underestimate the importance of a fucking Ballon d'Or winner, right?
Facts, yeah.
And you know what? Even if you go with Diaz and Guardiola's centre-back partnership, that's got legs to be a fucking great centre-back partnership as well. So we have got things there. But I think, do you know what? Away from the style of play and the players, I think the squad needs a refresh, because I actually do. I sense from speaking with people that maybe the environment at City at the moment needs a refresh as well, because it's a little bit
Toxic.
You know, it's not. I don't want to go as far as say toxic, but it certainly is not that.
I think it's toxic. I think what Bernardo Silva said the other day confirms it's toxic. I think, you know, sometimes you got to connect the dots in life. And for me, you know what I mean? When Bernardo Silva comes out and says, I've realised which players I can go to war with this season.
Yeah, 100%.
Do
you know what? Even little things is, you've got to remember that treble winning team and the four-peat, but that treble winning team, the connection they had, right? They will take, like, if you look at the Man United treble winning team now, yeah, all those players are still fucking close, right? Because why? Literally, like you said, LB, you went to fucking war. It's documented. We've seen the documentation, yeah, of behind the scenes, how those players got on. Now, this season, you see, I mean, just a little thing like Grealish being ultimately just ignored all the time, that is going to piss some players off in the dressing room.
Oh, 100%.
Why are you treating my boy like that? Like, and
and some players, Daps, will be believing that he should be playing. Now, whether we think he should be playing or not is irrelevant. But if you're in that dressing room and you think as a player, I think he needs to be playing, and Pep's freezing him out, that's going to create this environment of basically shit environment. Yeah. This is why this summer we got to get rid of anybody Pep don't rate or like, because ultimately if they don't like him and don't want to play him, they're going to cause a shit. And we got to get rid of players that are not good enough anymore. And then we need to rebuild. And Pep Guardiola said it here. We have to rebuild a little bit, the club, the players, that's for sure, because it's going to happen. Or maybe in the future, the manager. It happens. There you go. You got to rebuild, man. It's part of the process of a football club, mate.
Big facts.
Yo, shout out Echo Falls, man. Says Bournemouth are an intense pressing team. Haaland won't get marked out in a low block. He's actually going to have space, very short-sighted to drop. This is true. I don't think Bournemouth are going to be sitting there doing a low block. I think they have to win tonight as well to have any chance of European football next year.
Yeah, and it's still slim at that.
So they're either going to go low block it and try and get them on the counter and try and win, but then towards the end of the game they'll probably full send if it's 0-0 because they'll need a goal, or they'll just rip it. They'll rip it from the start of the game and just go full send and leave loads of space. Are you
starting Kev, by the way?
Yeah, I start Kev, and to be honest, I probably do start Haaland. To answer the question from before, I'll probably start them both.
Don't know if maybe Kev looked a little bit tired on Saturday. Don't know if maybe a stretch.
I give him 60 minutes. 60 minutes, folding on the bench, Echeverry on the bench, 60 minutes, throw one of them on, or maybe both.
I wouldn't want to start either of them over KDB, so you're probably right, to be fair.
Yeah. That's what I'd probably do. And hopefully we're winning the game, 60 minutes, sub him off. That's the dream. Sweet. All right, lads, guys, make sure you smash these likes up as well. 1,200 people in the building, man. Let's get these likes to 500, 600 likes. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Of course, I will be live tonight for the watch along. I think kickoff's at 8, so I'll be live at about 7. All the pre-match build-up for Kevin De Bruyne's last ever game for Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. Edison's last ever game at the Etihad Stadium. Maybe John Stones, maybe Grealish. There's loads of players that are going to be leaving in the summer. Gundogan, Bernardo, Kovacic, Footnose, you name it, after squad's leaving at the end of the year. Haircat says, Reinder's scout report completed. Get Kone instead.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Okay, now there comes. We ended the stream on a positive as well, bro. Big up to you, bro. I don't even know who that guy is. Yeah, smash these likes up. We're going over to South Stand now, so get yourselves in there. Smash the likes. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I'll see you tonight, 7 p.m. for Watch Along, Kevin De Bruyne's last ever game at the Etihad. Peace out, people.